Welcome to the channel. Today's episode is part 2 of this Porsche GT3 repair, so stay tuned. Alright, so we got this new tub sitting up in here. We've got it held in with some vice grips. We've got it sitting exactly where we want it. Now we're going to be welding back here, and we're going to be welding through 2 different layers of metal on this new panel. So we're going to mark where these spot welds are, take this tub back out, and then we can drill through where the markings are, drill through the first layer so that we get good penetration when we're welding. And while the new tub is out, we're going to go ahead and clean up all the edges on the new panel in preparation for welding. Alright, so you can see I've got it marked where the spot welds are going to be, and it's 2 layers. So I want to drill through just this first layer just so we can get good penetration to this inner layer when we're welding, because we'll be welding from this side. Alright, so we drilled through this first layer here. Now we have to drill some holes in this leading edge here, and we have to take a grinder and clean off all this primer so we can get to bare metal, so that we get good penetration everywhere that we weld. Alright, so we've got all the prep work done for welding on this lower tub, and before we put it up underneath the car for the final fitment, we're going to be using this weld-through primer on all the edges. It helps prevent corrosion. Alright, so we've got this lower tub set up in here for the final time. We've got it clamped in. We've got the lower crossmember bolted in. Everything has been triple measured, so we're ready to start welding. Alright, so we've got this lower tub welded in, so let's get all the welds cleaned up so we can get this thing seam sealed. Alright, so we've got this tub all scuffed and cleaned up and seam sealed. And as you can tell here on this old tub, the seam seal is just kind of brushed on with a brush. So we use an acid brush to duplicate that. And now we have to duplicate this color. And the best way to do that is with this Sim Easy Coat. This stuff sprays direct to metal. You don't have to prime it or anything. And you can get it in different colors. This one is the tan to match this tan color. So we'll spray that on there, and then we can take the black and kind of dust it on. As you can see, it's just kind of oversprayed on there, just misted with black. So we'll put the black on there after we spray that, and it should look just like that. Let's get this fender and this hood taken off so we can get the fender cut in and the hood hinges cut in at the same time we're doing this tub. We've got the fender and the hinges off this GT3, so now I can scuff the edge of the fender with a red pad and get these parts in the booth and get them ready to cut in. Alright, so the parts are in the booth and the tub is ready to start spraying. So let's get this tan Easy Coat sprayed on the tub. Alright, so the car's on the frame machine and the tub's already been sprayed with the E-Coat color. Now we have the fender and two hinges in the booth. They're all been sanded and wiped down and taped up. So the first thing we're going to be spraying on those bare metal hinges is some edge primer. Now we're using the DPX 171 primer and the DPX 173 catalyst, and these two mix 1-to-1. We've already got some mixed up in the gun, so let's go ahead and spray one coat of this on those bare metal hinges. Alright, so the next thing we're going to be putting on these parts in the booth is sealer. We're going to be using PPG's EnviroBase Chromatic Sealer, the ECS 67, with the EH391 hardener. Now this stuff mixes 3 parts of the sealer, 1 part hardener, and 1 part reducer. We've already got some mixed up in the gun. So let's go put 1 coat of this on the fender and both hinges. Alright, so we've got the sealer sprayed on there. We gave it a 15-minute flash time. The next step is start spraying some base coat. Now for base coat, we're going to be spraying PPG's EnviroBase. 2 coats of this black base coat on the parts in the booth, and 1 coat of just dusting it around in and outside of that tub. Alright, so we've got that base coat sprayed on there. We used a handheld blower to help it flash off. So now we're ready to start spraying some clear coat. We're going to be using the DC3000 with the DCH3095 hardener. Now this mixes 4 parts clear coat, 1 part hardener. We've already got some mixed up in the gun. So we can go start spraying 2 coats on the parts in the booth. Now on the tub, we're not going to be spraying the same clear. We're going to be using a matte or a semi-gloss clear because I don't want the tub to be as shiny as the parts in the booth. So let's start spraying that stuff now. Alright, so we've got this tub sprayed. I think it turned out nice. So you can see by looking at the old tub, that's what we were going for. I think we knocked it out of the park. I think it turned out really good. Let's see what the inside looks like. So that's the inside of the old tub. And that's the inside of the new tub. What do you think? Close enough? Let's go have a look in the booth and see how the fenders and the hinges turned out. Everything in the booth looks really good as well. We're going to let this dry for a few hours and then we can start reassembling the car. Let's get this thing untaped. We'll get all the front end parts hung back on the car, get some suspension underneath it so we can make it a roller and get it off the frame machine. We've got the GT3 off the frame machine. We used those go jacks to get this thing spun around and lined up with the paint booth. Now we're ready to start prepping this thing for paint.
Sometimes I wonder if all this stuff that's happening is because I didn't forward that message to 10 other people.
Alright, so that's going to be about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, hit that like button. We were trying to get this GT3 finished in 2 videos, but we just ran out of time, so it looks like it's going to be a trilogy. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and clicking on the bell icon. That way you won't miss any future videos, like on that one, or even that one. And if you have any thoughts or questions about the video, leave it in the comment section down below. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. See ya! It's some, what is this called? Alright, so we've got the base, it's gonna be 2 coats of this black bait. So the next thing we're gonna be spraying on these parts in the booth is an